I'm doing this. Why am I doing a YouTube video? That's kind of strange. Roger Harding doing a YouTube video. Well, I want to tell you a backstory, a little bit about why I'm here and how I got to where I'm at. It's kind of an interesting story. When I started out my life, my career, people are always talking to you in high school. They're like, "What do you want to do? What are you going to be when you grow up? Where are you going to go to college?" All this stuff. And I didn't really think about it a whole lot, but I was wanting to do something that I'd be good at. And everyone was telling me, "Well, man, you're so good at math, you've got to be an engineer." So what did I do? I went and became an engineer because that's what everybody told me to do. So, is it a good thing, bad thing? I don't know. It was a good thing, got a good job. After a few years, I was kind of disenchanted is a good word, disenchanted with my engineering career. And I thought, I got to do something else. Working for the government. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. But I decided I'm going to go be a computer engineer, because if I'm a computer engineer, that's going to be a lot more exciting. It's going to be a lot more interesting for me. And I did that for several years, and I got tired of that. And I really thought, what am I going to do? I need to find a passion, something that I really want to do. And I thought, I love helping people. I'm going to go be a dentist. So packed up the family. At that time, we had 3 kids. They were all kind of in that middle school age. And that was a big decision to move from Oregon down to San Francisco, a big change. And so I had to get buy-in from my family. And I'm like, okay, family, this is the deal. Dad wants to do this crazy thing. He wants to go back to school. That means A, we're going to move. You're going to be away from all your friends. B, you're going to be poor. We're going to live in this little rental house. And C, we don't know what's going to happen afterwards, okay? Dad's going to be busy. And everyone, to my gratitude, I guess, everyone was super happy. They were super supportive of me going. And so we packed the bags, moved to California, went to San Francisco, and started a new life as a dental student. It was great. I enjoyed it a lot. And about halfway through dental school, they put you in the clinic where you're actually working on patients, okay? And this is kind of where I want to go with this. They put you in the clinic and you're working with patients, day in and day out. Someday I'll tell you my story about my very first patient, which is my oldest son, Curtis. Congratulations, you were the first person I ever drilled on. And that was a brave thing for you to do. But as a dentist, as a dental student, you do a lot of fillings, you do a lot of cleanings, a lot of exams, a lot of the basic stuff. And if you're lucky enough to get a patient who has an implant, needs a dental implant, then it's like, oh yeah, this is great. And I was fortunate enough early on in my dental school to get a patient who wanted an implant. So I worked it out. We went to the implant clinic. We got everything all set up, and they don't let the dental students they don't let us do the implant placement or the surgery, because you're drilling holes up in their bone. This lady needed one right here. And so I was with the surgeon. The surgeon's doing the work, and I'm sitting there being a good student, suctioning all the stuff that you need to suction during a surgery. And in the middle of the surgery, the surgeon turns to me and he says, "Hey, you want to turn to drill?" And the patient's awake, and I kind of glance at her, and I could see this little bit of a panic look on her face, and I'm like, no way. I went into a panic. I'm like, there's no chance that I'm going to drill a hole into this person's head. If it, went wrong, I'd drill up into their sinus or something like that, and the school would get sued. There's no way I was going to do it. So anyway, long story short, the surgeon finished, and after he was finished, I think I sutured her up, and then we took her out, and I'm giving her the instructions afterwards. And the instructions are, you need to take this prescription for an antibiotic. Second thing, you need to rinse with this mouth rinse, because we don't want that area to get infected. If it's infected, then the implant could fall out. It'd be horrible, right? So I give her all this instructions and give her the prescription, and she says she's going to be compliant, all this stuff. And I schedule her for a 1-week visit, a post-op visit in a week. So fast forward 1 week, she shows up. I say, let me take a look. I want to see how everything's looking. She opens wide. I look in her mouth, and everything is beautiful. And I'm thinking, even though I didn't place the implant or do any of the surgery, I'm thinking, I'm such a good dentist. I, did this perfect thing, gave her all the post-op stuff. She took her antibiotics. She did her mouth rinse, and everything's going to be great. For me, I was trying to be a really good student. I wanted to be the top student in the class. I was older. I was 36 when I went to dental school, and I sort of had this thing to prove. I wanted my kids to think, oh man, my dad's an awesome student. I wanted the other younger kids in the class to think, oh, old guys can still do it, and all those things. So I wanted to be a good student. I wanted to be the best, and I looked in her mouth. I saw that surgical site, and I was like, yep, I did it. I've arrived. I'm this awesome student. Inside, I'm kind of nervous. I'm freaking out. I'm wanting to do a good job. I'm wanting to be this guy. I'm worried about supporting my family. Am I going to be good enough? What's going to happen after I'm done? I've got all this mountain of student loan debt to pay. And so I'm having this internal struggle, the whole time I'm in dental school, and I'm really wanting to do my best, and I'm really wanting my patients to trust me. And so I'm going everything by the book, just what the teachers are teaching me. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm doing it. I've got, my son's letting me drill on him. This lady's letting me put an implant in her, and everything's going to be good. So I'm talking to her, and we're talking about it. I'm like, good job. You did your mouth rinse. Good job. You did your antibiotic prescription. She said, well, you know what? Actually, I never got that prescription filled. I'm like, what? I'm your doctor. I'm supposed to know. I know what's going on. I know what you're supposed to do. You need to get your prescription filled. Why don't you get your prescription filled? And it wasn't that intense, but that's what I said. And so she said, well, I didn't need antibiotics. I didn't need your mouth rinse because I have this stuff called tea tree oil. And all I did is I took a little, I put it on my finger, and I rubbed it around right on the surgical spot. And then I put a little bit in water, and I would just rinse around with it a couple of times a day. And I knew that would do just as good as the antibiotics, so that's what I did. And I was like, wait a minute, what'd you say you did? And she's talking about this voodoo tea tree oil. I'm like, okay, I'm not totally sure what that is. And I think, okay, but your mouth looks perfect. The implant looks perfect. The surgical site looks perfect. I'm not going to complain. My ego was deflated a little bit. I was like, okay, maybe it's not all me. Maybe I don't know everything. Maybe everything that the teachers and professors have taught me is not everything that I should be knowing about this stuff. So now fast forward 10 years. Well, it was kind of at that point and over the next 10 years that I decided, there are so many things out there. They can't teach you everything in dental school. They can't teach you everything in medical school. And there's a lot of stuff out there that might be just as good as what we're prescribing, just as good as what we're recommending to these people. So from then on, I decided, what kind of a doctor do I want to be? Do I want to be the kind of doctor who gets offended when people don't follow my prescription or my recommendations exactly? Do I want to be the kind of doctor who wants to be informed about what all the alternatives are that are out there? So that's when I decided, I need to be informed. I want to be informed. I think it'll make me a better doctor if I'm informed about other alternatives that are out there in the world. So my struggle though was, here on one hand is what all the teachers taught me all these years, and this is the standard of care, and this is what you need to do. And I adhere to that for sure, the standard of care. But then on the other hand, there are things out there that are just as good, sometimes better, and sometimes without the side effects that these over-the-counter or prescription medications give. And if I can get better results with less side effects, I'm all for that, if it's going to do the patient the best. So the good news is that I did graduate from dental school. I did graduate top 10% of my class, and it was exciting. I did good. I was able to get a practice, support my family. None of my kids starved to death, and I think they were pretty proud of me when I got the little, tassels around my neck that I got to wear during graduation. And over the last 10 years, it's been an amazing journey as a dentist. As I've been able to really research the benefits that natural products have in our lives and in our patients' mouths. Particularly, I've been focused a lot on studying and researching essential oils and what they can do for your mouth. This tea tree oil that the patient used, that was an essential oil from this tree called a Melaleuca tree. And now it's pretty fun because I'm invited to speak all over the U.S. about the benefits of essential oil usage in the dental setting. It's super fun, and so I hope that as I tell that little story, that it helps you understand kind of where I came from, my transition, my kind of epiphany moment, my moment when I realized there's other stuff out there that can be beneficial, and it's been fun, and my patients have loved using natural products that work, that don't have the side effects, and don't have to worry about interactions with other medications or body systems or whatever. It's been a great ride, and as I produce more of these videos, I hope to benefit you more with more detailed information about essential oils, dentistry, and other stuff that I'm doing in my life that I think is pretty fun. So this is Roger Harding signing off. It's been good talking to you. Have a great day.